Welcome back tuning into today's video. We're going to do the weekend forecast today. Going to have a detailed look at weather for the next 7 days across the British Isles. Got some really unsettled, stormy conditions coming up in the next 24 hours through tomorrow. We're really going to get a bit of a battering. I mean, it's going to stay pretty unsettled really through much of the coming week, although there is uncertainty about the latter stages of the week, and I'll talk about all of that when we get to that particular time frame later in the video. Now, before I get on with the video, just to talk about the advertisements, green keyword ads on my pages at gazroblitz.com. Rolling your cursor over green keywords means that they'll display the ads, but if you click through the word, that's the key, click through the word, go to the advertised website, and when you do that, you support gazroblitz.com. Thanks very much for doing that. Websites that we're using for this weekend forecast. We've got radar pitch coming from UK Met Office, and we've got charts at westend.de and weatheroutlook.com. All three of those websites can be found on my links page, or the links to those websites can be found on my links page. So just have a quick look at radar pitch. The last of last night's heavy rain across England and Wales is clearing away into the North Sea. That splodge of green and yellow there. We've got little bits and pieces of rain scattered around across the country, but actually it's a largely dry day today, and the reason is that we're under a very transient ridge of high pressure building in off the Atlantic ahead of this area of low pressure that's developing and deepening like mad around Iceland. So we are going to find a lot of cloud across many parts of eastern and southern England today. Brighter skies edging down from the north and the west. Most places dry. A shower can't be ruled out anywhere, scattered about. I think most places will stay dry today with skies brightening slowly from the north and the west. Now it's going to be quite a cool day today, temperatures below average, somewhere between around 11 and 16 degrees. 16 is around 61 Fahrenheit and several degrees below where it should be in the middle of September. Now this is tonight's chart. This area of low pressure to the north of Scotland really deepening down to 970 millibars, bringing very tightly packed ice bars through to Scotland and Northern Ireland, and active weather fronts as well. So we're going to find a dry start to the night across Scotland and Northern Ireland, but it is going to very quickly go downhill through the course of the night with gale force winds sweeping through, gusts of wind perhaps up to 60 or 70 miles an hour around some exposed parts of northern and western Scotland and Northern Ireland. Also heavy rain sweeping through. Now the heaviest of the rain will be across western Scotland, where we're looking at torrential rain, possibly giving as much as 50 to 70 millimetres of rainfall tonight, but all parts of Scotland and Northern Ireland will turn wet and windy, and that rain will eventually get down in towards northern England by the end of the night. For England and Wales, we're probably going to stay dry all night, but it'll probably turn increasingly cloudy later in the night. But down in the south and the southeast, that's where the best of the clear spells will be tonight. Quite a cold night, really. Temperatures between around 4 and 8 or 9 degrees. Temperatures will lift up in the north, of course, as the wet and windy weather sweeps in. Now, moving through into Sunday, well, look at this. A very, very deep area of low pressure just to the east of Iceland. It's hard to make out the central pressure belt, but I think it's 960 millibars. That's an incredibly intense area of low pressure for this early in the season. It's the kind of thing you normally expect to see late October and through November. So a really intense Atlantic storm for Sunday, sweeping weather fronts down across the country. So we're going to start off on a very wet and windy note for Scotland and Northern Ireland. That will push down into northern England and Wales through the course of the morning, and then move southwards through the rest of England during the afternoon. Now the rain will lose some of its intensity as it comes south and southeast. It shouldn't be the torrential rain that we're going to have in northwest Scotland tonight, but even so, it's going to be a proper wet and windy sort of day across all parts of the country, but rain probably not arriving into the far southeast until around mid-afternoon. Skies will clear across Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England, and eventually into North Wales by the end of the day, with sunshine and showers being driven in on this strong to gale force northwesterly wind. Temperatures on Sunday, very, very cool day, just 8 degrees in the north of Scotland, down to around 10 to 13 degrees through northern England, and possibly up to 15 or 16 degrees in the far south and southeast before that rain sets in, but feeling really cold and miserable in the north. And in those showers we could have hail and thunder for Scotland, and don't be surprised to see some flakes of snow turning up over the Scottish mountains. Moving through into Monday, that low pressure is still sitting to the north of Scotland. We still bring down this strong and cold northwesterly wind, cold for the time of year anyway. But persistent rain will be out of way. That'll go on Sunday evening. But we're in a run of sunshine and showers really for Monday. Most of the showers in the northwest, probably not too many in the south and the southeast. Rather cloudy as well for many places. A few sunny spells coming through. But the main thing about Monday is going to be a very cool day. Temperatures just 7 to 14 or 15 degrees. So really below average for the time of year. Now as we move into Tuesday, bringing a secondary area of low pressure through across the country. This could bring more persistent outbreaks of heavy rain to England and Wales on Tuesday, whereas Scotland and Northern Ireland close to this main area of low pressure keep sunshine and showers. That rain in the south-southeast needs watching because it could be really quite wet on Tuesday. It'll be a cold day and with any persistent rain, temperatures probably no better but around 10 or 11 degrees. Otherwise we're going to be around 14 or 15, but we're well below, many degrees below where we should be for the time of year. As we go into Wednesday, well, we may bring a little bit of a ridge of high pressure in across the country on Wednesday. Very transient ahead of this next area of low pressure. So we're probably looking at a mainly dry day on Wednesday. There will probably be some showers, more particularly in the north and northeast. But I think many places probably having a dry day on Wednesday. Going to be cool though, with temperatures between around 9 and 16, or maybe up to 17 degrees. But it'll be particularly cold early and late, I think, on Wednesday. And as we move through into Thursday, a bit of a question mark. This area of low pressure is coming through. The GFS has it as quite a weak feature, but the ECMWF is more active with this, so I think we have got a risk of more cloud and rain coming in off the Atlantic, possibly affecting Scotland, Northern Ireland and Northern England more than further south, but I think all places probably getting some sort of cloud and rain on Thursday. Temperatures could lift up a little bit though, possibly up to 18 degrees in the southeast. And then cast your eyes over here out into the mid-Atlantic. That area of low pressure there is the remains of Hurricane Humberto. Now, that's causing big question marks for Friday and into the weekend, because it's going to come into the Atlantic, into the northern Atlantic, but its exact track is very uncertain, and what the GFS wants to do this morning is take this area of low pressure into the mid-Atlantic and move it up towards Iceland, possibly bringing some wet and windy weather to Scotland and Northern Ireland by Saturday. But the result of that is to build high pressure from France in towards the south and the southeast. So it's very difficult to say what's going on from Friday into the weekend. We have got the chance that this ex-hurricane could promote high pressure around the country. If it does, it could turn drier and warmer into next weekend. But if this area of high pressure is weak and the track of this ex-hurricane brings it through across the country, it could be a very wet and windy weekend. It's one of those situations where we've got to see what's going to happen as we get closer to the time frame. So I can't really say much more about Friday and the weekend at this stage. Do watch this space. This is the situation in terms of today's chart from the Weather Outlook. There could be a shower scattered around, but many places will be dry. The best of the sunshine in the north and the west. As we move through into Sunday, it's going to be a really wet and windy day across many parts of the country. The rain probably not arriving into the southeast until we get on in toward the mid to latter part of the afternoon, but most places will be wet and windy through the course of Sunday, and the risk of gales is certainly a substantial risk up in the north of the country. Moving through into Monday, it's sunshine and showers really on a very cool west to northwesterly wind. And then we've got a risk of some longer spells of rain coming through across England and Wales as we move through into Tuesday with more showery conditions in the north. Very cool temperatures once again. Could be mainly dry on Wednesday, although we do have a risk of some rain coming into the far north of Scotland perhaps, but I think mainly dry for Wednesday. Then we've got cloud and rain coming south and east across the country on Thursday, and then the big question marks for Friday. This is showing largely dry conditions and temperatures just lifting up a little bit, perhaps getting up to 20 degrees, 68 Fahrenheit, but it all hinges, Friday and the weekend, all hinges on what's going on with the remains of Hurricane Humberto, and we won't know until closer to the time frame. So in summary, basically we're in for a very rough time of it. We're going to have a big storm across the North Atlantic this weekend, going to bring gales and heavy rain to many parts of the country on Sunday, and then it showers or longer spells of rain through much of next week, temperatures well below average. And then just the question marks for Friday and the weekend, when we could start to lift the temperatures up and build high pressure in. But if the remains of Hurricane if it remains, of Hurricane Humberto hits us directly, it'll be very wet and windy, so it all remains to be seen what's happening at the end of the week and next weekend. That's it for now. Tomorrow I'm going to do my first winter 2013-2014 roundup video. That'll be very interesting, I think, so come back for that. But that's it for now. Thanks for watching.